आज हम आपको मिलवाने जा रहे हैं भारत के लिए बहुत ही गौरवमयी काम करने वाले, बहुत ही सादा जीवन जीने वाले डॉक्टर फेलिक्स बास्ट को। डॉक्टर फेलिक्स बास्ट जो 2016-17 में इंडियन एंटार्क्टिक मिशन में एज साइंटिस्ट काम कर चुके हैं और उन्होंने अंटार्कटिका में भारती स्टेशन और मैत्री स्टेशन में रिसर्च वर्क किया। वह लिबन सेंटर फॉर ट्रॉपिकल मैराइन रिसर्च में एज गेस्ट साइंटिस्ट भी काम कर चुके हैं। डॉक्टर फेलिक्स बास्ट ने भारत में और अंटार्कटिका में बहुत ही न्यू स्पीसीज़ की खोज की है। उनकी सुपरविज़न में अब तक 9 स्कॉलर्स को पीएचडी की डिग्री मिल चुकी है। उनका जन्म केरल में हुआ और उनका जन्म का नाम वीएम श्रीजित नंबिसन है। वह मलयाली ब्राह्मण परिवार से हैं। वह गर्व से कहते हैं कि उन्होंने साइंस मलयालम भाषा में पढ़ी और पंजाब को भी अपनी भाषा को अमीर करते हुए साइंस को पंजाबी भाषा में पढ़ाना चाहिए। ही आल्सो फाउंडेड यंग एकेडमी ऑफ इंडिया एंड सर्विंग एज प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ YAI। YAI में 15,000 से ज़्यादा मेंबर हैं। डॉक्टर फेलिक्स बास्ट अपने YouTube चैनल पे अवार्ड विनिंग शो क्यूरियोसिटी हर महीने करते हैं। कुछ दिन पहले डॉक्टर बास्ट मानसा में आयोजित साइंस के एक बहुत ही बड़े उत्सव मार्स 2024 में भाग लेने आए। वहाँ उन्होंने अपने विचार दिए जिनकी प्रशंसा खूब हुई। उन विचारों का कुछ हिस्सा टुकड़ों में आपके सामने है, तो आओ सुनते हैं डॉक्टर फेलिक्स बास्ट को।
I got some prize for you people. Well, I enjoyed the quiz. Nice selection of the questions. But this one is a reverse quiz. Reverse quiz means that, well, I'm not going to ask you the question for the answer, but you need to ask me questions. The curious questions. So be prepared to ask me any questions that you may have about Antarctica. Based on my PPT, or based on my presentation, or something else too, you are welcome. Any questions that you may have about Antarctica. So the only criterion, I'm money from my pocket to go any of these countries, 26 countries. Well, you know the Antarctic is unknown to humanity. No one knows about Antarctic continent. Even Uranus, the planet Uranus, we know in 18th century, no 1781 the Uranus was discovered, but again it took almost a century for us to go and understand there is a continent called Antarctica, not mentioned in any of the religious text. No borders, no war, no conflict. Before I went to Antarctica, I got a chance to go to this place. Do you know where is it? Norway, north of Europe. And it's very bizarre in Norway. The sunset was at 11:30 p.m. Sunset in Mansa is, what time is the sunset here? Say, sunset, what time? Right, 6. In 11:30, p.m. in the midnight, 11:30 is the sunset. Right? 30 a.m. So just night is just 1 hour long. Can you believe it? 23 hours of, daylight. Very interesting, isn't it? I also went to a museum in Oslo of Norway. Museum is something called Fram Museum. In Kerala we have so many, science book in Malayalam. So unfortunately the culture is missing in Punjab. We also need good quality science book. Not the textbook. I'm not saying about the textbook. I'm saying about something that actually, let you enjoy the reading. Isn't it? So one of the books when I 7th grade, just like you, most of you, right? 7th grade in Malayalam is called Fram. What is Fram? You can see here, right? The Fram is, it's a ship. That is the most famous ship in the nautical history of the world. Do you know why? This is a wooden schooner taken by the guy on the left side, Robinson, maiden voyage to Antarctica in 1911. First to set icy. It's very in the museum, right? And then I applied for this program, Indian Antarctic Mission. Anyone can apply. Students can apply. Teachers can apply. This is the national mission. Okay, it's Antarctic mission is prestigious, and you need to justify why you need to go to Antarctica for doing your research. If the research can be done in India, they will not select you. You need to justify why you need to go to Antarctica. Okay, I got selected. The next level is very crucial. It's a medicals. It's not just a blood sugar or blood test. No, it is very, very stringent. 1 week long medicals in AIMS in New Delhi. Check single thing. Even the heart, the treadmill stress test, or even echocardiogram, even the liver, fatty liver disease. No, you cannot go. Even urine test called cotinine. Cotinine is a biomarker, it's just 5 rupees test. In case you smoke 1 cigarette in the last 3 years. 3 years, 1 cigarette cannot go. So those of you who want to go to Antarctica, my 2 pieces of advice: never touch alcohol and don't smoke. These 2 things are really important for going to Antarctica. Well, after I got selected this AIMS thing, next level is a training provided by Indo-Tibetan Border Police, ITBP, in Uttarakhand, Manau, as well as in Oli and South Malaysia. You have been to Badrinath temple. So in Badrinath you can see that, right, like a map of India, and beyond that is exactly the peak, the Satopanch glacier. We had training in that glacier, ice and snow acclimatization, and also the crevasse rescue. What is crevasse? Do you know? Antarctica is like pure white bed sheet, like the bed sheet. But you will never know what lies below, right? And to go there, you need this kind of white passport, the official passport of the government of India. And you have diplomatic immunity, and you don't really need any visa. If you have this passport, you can go anywhere. Oh, by the way, many people say, okay, you have a doctorate from Japan, and you've been to Canada, you've been to the US, and why you didn't settle in Canada? Well, that is exactly the patriotism, friends. You have options to settle abroad, but I haven't settled. I came back to serve my mother nation with all the pride. Yeah? So anyway, who owns Antarctica, by the way? I told you Antarctica is an international territory. There is no border. So who owns it? Who governs it? That is something called ATS, Antarctic Treaty System. So there are 57 parties. India is one of the party. And right in the center, you see there are 12 countries. They are the main people, the countries. They are actually formulating rules and regulations because they all have stakes on Antarctica. They have claims that some sections of Antarctica belongs to us. For example, Norway. I remember Tromsø and Oslo and that museum, you will see a lot of wind coming and also huge waves that will roll and pitch your ship. Days will go by till you have some sleep. Many people start vomiting, the seasickness. So you see the roaring 40s is a westerly. Have you studied that in school, right? Westerly and easterly are the trade winds. What is westerly? Wind blowing from west to east. So the Britishers, when they want to come to India, right, like right in 14th and 15th century, they used to take this west roaring 40s, and that wind will push them towards Asia. And after they pack their ship with all those continents, if they want to go back to Britain, they just need to go a little bit still further down, 50 degrees south. See, the wind has No, it's no longer western, it became east to west. See that? Then again it became westerly, screaming 60s, and finally Antarctic, westerly. So it's pretty interesting that the directionality is again and again. And then this is the ship, right? The hull of it. See the floor, these are all ice, right? No problem, the ship can easily sail through the floor. Then finally, you see that is basically a sunset I saw, the final sunset before I went to Antarctica, before I cruised at 66 degrees south. This sunset, you see that just before the sun disappears, you see a green flash? That is an optical illusion. That is called green flash. How green flash? In that quiz, right, refraction answer, right, although it was an incorrect answer. Yes, that is the reason is the refraction of the sun rays. You see that? So the diffraction, the refraction is proportional to the wavelength, the lambda, or the frequency, right? Blue has the highest frequency, but unfortunately blue leaves, just disappears, right? Because it's scattered. That is why the sky is blue, isn't it? So then comes green, and that is why you're seeing it as a green. The green comes to your eye. So do you see the green flash? Yeah, that is an optical illusion. Several such illusions in Antarctica I saw. For example, blue eyes. Have you ever seen this kind of eyes? Blue eyes. Every single eyes, in Antarctica, most of the ice is blue color. How come blue? In Antarctica is the only place in the earth you can see this kind of blue ice. The blue ice, because you see the ice is nothing but H2O, right? Water. So O and H, there is a bond, right? A covalent bond. That bond gets stretched if the pressure is high. Now Antarctica has huge pressure. Why? Because Antarctica is a continent. If you drill down, it's approximately 4 kilometers of ice. The thickness of the ice is around 4 kilometers. And what lies underneath? Rock. It's not ocean. Arctic is just a floating mass of ice, but Antarctica is a proper continent. So 4 kilometers of the ice has tremendous pressure. And that is why you see this bond stretching, and the reason for what? Blue ice. Well, different kinds of iceberg, ice cave I saw, right? It's so beautiful, right? Nowhere on the earth you can see it. Various birds I saw. For example, this is southern royal albatross with its wingspan of around 3 meters. The bird with the largest wingspan is albatross. I also saw this Arctic tern. Arctic tern is so fascinating little creature. This bird is just 80 grams. 80 grams, you see that? It's so lightweight. And as the name suggests, Arctic. So it's coming from Arctic, that is the north, right, to Antarctic, and then back to Arctic every single year. Can you believe it? When it is winter in Arctic, it goes to Antarctic for experiencing the summer. So it's a sun-loving bird. Wherever sun is there, it flies. And this little bird lived for 30 years. Can you believe? 30. And in its lifetime, how long this bird flies? Well, if I say 2.8 billion kilometers, you cannot imagine. But I give you an analogy. It's equal to 3 round trip from Earth to Moon and back. Can you believe? Earth to Moon and back to Earth 3 times it travels. Magical, isn't it? It's a mysterious little bird. Well, another bird very common in Antarctica is South Polar Squaw. Look at its, the foot, webbed foot. Right, it's a seabird. Most of the seabirds have this kind of feature, the webbed foot. Then another bird, snow petrel. Hard to see, right? It's all so white. And background is also white. Why? All these are pretty interesting questions. So ask yourself, why is it like that? right? That incites your curiosity. That is how the science work, you know. So keep on asking that why questions. Storm petrel, do you see that storm petrel? And now elephant seal has nothing to do with elephants. Elephant seal is a mammal, not egg. It gives birth. Now you see the trunk of it. So the trunk is to make voices for mate selection, to find its mate. Then leopard seal, another mammal, quite often you can find in Antarctic. This is a ship which I took, Ivan Papanin, and look at that. Me, I'm standing on the ice. It's basically sea ice. The thickness is approximately 3 meters. And below that, it's ocean. Penguins will be swimming, seals will be there, orcas will be there. Do you know orca? Orca is a killer whale you can find in Antarctic. So beautiful creatures, everything. This is our oldest station called 1988 established, okay, in Shermaker Oasis. And right now we have a fantastic station called Bharati. Probably one of the best stations in Antarctic is of the Indian government. So Bharati station was established in 2012. And the whole station is made in Germany. And then disassembled ship, and then the ship anchored somewhere near there, and then reassembled, something like a 3-dimensional origami. Can you believe it? You see that station, in front of the station there are so many flags. All these are the countries they helped us. For example, the first flag is of South Africa, right? Because one of the helicopter is of the South Africa. The second flag is of the Russia. Because the ship and one of the helicopters. We have 2 helicopters in the ship, okay? And the third one is Germany, because the German engineers are still stationed there. They are the one who is maintaining our station. The Australians is somewhere nearby. You see that big white globe? How many of you see that? Do you see? What is that football-like globe? That is called radome, right? Radio-based dome. So that is light communication by the ISRO, right? So this is science laboratories for like us to do our research in the Antarctic station. So we have got some hood and incubators. You can see some epifluorescence microscope, and then several penguins, so beautiful penguins. This one is called emperor penguin. You see that one's yellow patch? That is an identifying feature of the emperor penguin. In Antarctic there are around 18 of emperor penguin, and penguins are pretty because we learn, the humanity can learn so many things from penguin. Do you know? Is it a male or a female on the right side? The egg. It's a male. After the egg is laid, the female goes for. And what do the penguins eat? Fish. Penguin is a forest animal, just fish, nothing else. And when the mother is gone, mama penguin is gone, father incubates the egg for the next 6 months, 3 to 6 months, depends on the species. And during this time, father penguin, the papa penguin will not move 1 inch. Can you believe it? Even when there is a blizzard is basically the storm with snow. You cannot even see 1 meter. Really tough storm and gale. Even then, papa penguin will still look after the egg. How about humans? You know, the baby, right? It's completely for the female responsibility, right? We need to change the gender, equity too. Yeah, we have to learn many things from penguin. Look at that. I'm taking a photo of a penguin. Penguin is pausing. So penguins are pretty interesting. They don't think that human beings are dangerous. They will come to us. They're like a cat, they will simply rub their body against our body. So they're very safe. Penguins are super safe. Because so many millions of years, penguins haven't seen humanity. That is the reason we feel safe with human beings. See the chin strap penguin with the strap near, beautiful. No? Yes? Chin strap. Well, you see the way I was dressing in Antarctica, 79 degrees Celsius, minus 79, can you believe it? So, so this dress is something like 8 layers below. It is not a thick woolen dress, no, it doesn't work. These are very thin layers, something called thin insulate, proprietary stuff, and layer after layer we need to wear, and not a single inch of, because one of the madam was asking about the ozone layer problem, because the UV light is also extremely high in Antarctica, so that is the reason why we have to cover every inch of our skin, even our eye. You see the goggle I'm having, and you see on my right side a stick, that is nice probing stick. I have to touch and make sure that the land is safe, like after the helicopter lands, I need to make sure above the Antarctic, not anywhere else in the world, right? So that's why this hall is very prominent, and you have to take adequate precautions if you're in Antarctica. So how did I used to travel inside Antarctica? By this, you can see that one helicopter, that is a Airbus helicopter, and also piston bully. That is a very interesting, it's something like a military tanker. You see that? It's the threaded wheels with a bucket or a hoe to push all the snow away. We also used to travel by skidoo is basically the scooter, snow scooter. To travel in short distances, we can use skidoo in Antarctica. So I will skip this slide for the sake of time. So what did I do? I was looking at what kinds of plants grow in Antarctica, right? And also how does these plants behave in response to the climate change? Topics I used to do. See, if you turn back in time, many years back, around 2 million back, all like this Gondwana land. You see? So the Gondwana, it is coming from the British geology, Andhra Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, the Gondi tribes, right? That is the name Gondwana. So in India, the east coast of India, right? That is something like Tamil Nadu and Odisha and Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal. All these time was which continent? You see that in map. So Antarctica is congruent with of India. Any microbes evolved before 200 years. You can still see the nearest relative in India. India's nearest relative is that is right. That is continental. Heard of Alfred Wegener, later as plate tectonics. Why we have to study about this Antarctica? It gives an interest. Something like on Mars, right? I thought this event is named after planet Mars. No, right? It's Mansa. There is one. What is it? Administration. Resonating science. Resonance is a science magazine writing in resonance. Okay, it's a magazine. Standard magazine, right? Indian Academy of Science magazine. So, like in this Earth, only is very similar to Mars. Similar in of solar system. It's a ladder. The moon is larger, and the temperature is also remarkable. The custody of this one. Also Mars, you see that surface is tilted, and that means it's more than Antarctica. It's a lot more than. Can you believe it? A lot more warmer. Saturn, probably similar to the Antarctic, but a atmosphere which is most in Antarctica. See that it's the level of an image interesting because it's got just matter because magnetism is auroras. Come to that in a short. Aurora borealis and aurora in aurora australis, right? And we also have Europe. More look at that. There is water in Europa. Even water. The reason is about the there is a lake is on the mountain. There is a pretty what you can find. Antarctica is a paradise. 800. The rock from meteor. You can see more meteorites with data. Do you know why? Because it's a rock. So it's to see anything. Chances of seeing it's a meteorite. So that's why it's a paradise. You know, actually high in Antarctica. Like you remember the horse picture, ray of telescope, most famous port, and this is a radio, not telescope, radio wave-based telescope. You know, and also there is a how many of you know about neutrinos or neutrinos are reflected to the earth. So reflected neutrinos only you can observe by going to Antarctica down. So telescope is around 300 meters underneath the ice sheet. Skew new observation for neutrinos. Take a walk from, for example, many neutrinos pass through. Right? You know, is the sea of any of the earth that is anyone nuclear test did in Pokhran, they can even your you know and how that you can try Antarctica. What is today to tomorrow and back? I can go back yesterday and yes, by just how is it? Yeah, time and is not converge to one pinpoint in Antarctica. If you take today and tomorrow, that's the game we used to play in South Pole. And just per year, 1 year, 1 and sunrise, same. Sunrise. This just happened. Sun. What is one? Today's word of is 24th September. 1 month. 24th of so end of September is a Thursday. How many of you know what is it called? 20 year second time 20 right? So, yeah, equinox and the sun happens? I told you, sun time of the year. This is on the Mars. Again, Mars. You know, we were a single holiday for nature. All holidays for nature. 21st September, 21st March, Japan. How about India? Many time of days worship and Dakshina, but now it cares. And Dakshina, we still have to go back to those times. Why not? We need to celebrate these days. The sunrise, not so interesting. One sun and left and right you see two sun. How come? Again, it's an optical illusion. Rays, fractal, ice crystals. Crystals are not same as no. Okay, so each the rays get reflected. So 11 degrees. Enter 11 degrees. When another sun dog. Well, 6 months is pitch dark. Is it pure? No, it's also beautiful time for sky watching. Just color in it. That is the right? Borealis is what in Norway, Canada. But down south is and you know why auroras are being charged by the sun to the atmosphere. You know, also has a cycle. The sun every years. And 24 is the birthday of that means activities. Or maxima coronal mass ejections happen this year. So if you happen to go in or the, you can see X in 2020. Sort of particles to of the earth and on the atmosphere what like we have molecules, atoms are electrons get excited to a higher orbital and goes back to the orbital. Energy released and just by looking yellowish green. Work on the DNA sequences. The morning quiz, one of the questions is about the gene, right? And Watson, right? Watson and who discovered the DNA. That double helix structure. I saw the double helix over there too. Beautifully illustrated. So anyway, the DNA, using the DNA sequence, I try to discover and name new species of the plants. So you see that one of the very interesting article which came in the BBC, you know, 2 years back, is that India discovers new plant species in Antarctica. Front page of the BBC. And do you know who is the guy who is behind this? It's my work. Got featured on the BBC front page. Can you believe it? And this is the first time any research from Punjab gets into the science section of the BBC. Punjab University is there for such a long time. Not a single article got into the BBC. Anyway, you can check out this article. You can search in Google about this, the title or my name, Felix Bast, and read it and see why the discovery is important. Okay, till now all the good things about Antarctic. There is a flip side. That is the reason why I came here to talk to you. Most important topic. What is the flip side of my discovery? Inconvenient truth. On my way to Antarctic, I saw pictures like this. What is it? Plastics. Marine litter island full of plastics. So any plastic that you throw out, ultimately the final destination is our ocean. In ocean there are several circulations, thermohaline circulations, and it gets progressively higher and higher to this kind of islands. You see that? These plastics get degraded to microplastics. So microplastic is less than 5 ml, and nanoplastic is 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. That is okay. So these plastics somehow gets into, well, what is this animal? It's jellyfish and other animals too. These plastics get into all the of the, and also birds depends on the oceanic life. And you see the very minute plastics get into all the seabirds and animals and plants that you saw in the morning, including Arctic tern, right? Even penguins. Well, what happens when it gets into the penguin? Well, before that, let me take a twist. You see, this is very familiar. What is it? Well, paper cup, isn't it? We drink tea on this paper cup or a coffee on this paper cup. Are these really paper cups? Well, not really. If you put that into the water, you see that, well, there is a thin layer of plastic. At the moment you pour the hot tea or coffee or any beverage, a hot beverage, these plastics get melted and it gets into your tea. And what you're drinking is not real tea but plastic solution. But unfortunately, no one cares. Now you know it, right? Please tell your parents and others, please stop using it. Well, paper cups are safe for, the cold water, no problem. But hot, never ever do that, okay? So, and also what this stuff has, this plastic layer gets into it. And you see that it's not just the paper cup, but also anything with the plastic. For example, you see, this is what? Milk. The only purpose of that pouch, the plastic pouch of the milk, is to aid your transport from local grocery shop to your home. Some places like in Delhi, there is a vending machine of, like Mother Dairy has this, right? You can go, or you can simply go to societies or dairy shop, bring your own, burden, isn't it? So that is so much safer than having anything in this kind of thing. So by the way, plastics really bad for two things. One is oily, another is hot. Both contributes this leaching of microplastics tremendously. And hot plus oil is super dangerous. So beware of Zomato and Swiggy when you order next time. All these containers are plastics, right? See that all these plastics, the hot and oily, easy, gets into your system. Or this kind of thing like biryani or whatever the gravy you order, like curry you order. Simple, right? But beware of it, friends, beware, right? It's so dangerous. Look at it. You see that just after you order the food from this delivery, this much of the waste, and where does it go? Ocean. From ocean, what will happen? Microplastics get into all organisms like penguins. Well, how about tea? This is what? What is it? Well, this is like a green tea, right? The tea bag. Well, it must be safe, right? No. This is what? Glass. No, glass is okay. The glass tea is fine. But the tea bag is all plastics. You're pouring hot water onto the tea bag. You see, it releases all the microplastics and nanoplastics. So what you is not tea, but a solution of the plastic. solution of the micro and nanoplastics, and all the chemicals that this plastic have it. What are the chemicals? Well, you see, one of the nasty chemical this plastic has is called BPA, bisphenol A. So you see that backside is estrogen. The morning quiz also, right? One of the quiz is about the hormones. So estrogen was one of the answers. Yeah, estrogen is a reproductive hormone of females. Now it mimics the structure. Look at the structure is remarkably similar. BPA. See, many countries have prohibited, banned BPA in the plastics, but not in India. Many scientists have wrote articles in current science to ban it. Unfortunately, we still haven't banned it. It's very bad. It's very dangerous. Even BPS and BPF, and not just that, there are phthalates, there are dioxins, so many nasty chemicals in the plastic, and most of these are something called endocrine disrupting chemicals. Why? Endocrine is a gland that releases a hormone like estrogen, right? So this is a big problem, friends, and the problem is more for adolescent girls. I tell you, girls, listen carefully. This is your problem. More important than the boys, because there is a disease called polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, directly linked to the plastics. Because of this, BPA and BPS link is very clear, crystal clear. And those countries which banned BPA and BPS, PCOS is also extremely low. And those countries which haven't banned BPA and BPS, PCOS is skyrocketing. And then PCOS can ultimately lead to infertility. Even in Mansa, you see how many clinics you can see, infertility clinic, isn't it? Come to